All right, one more thing is brought to you by FanDuel. I don't know what's going on with the Knicks right now between firing their coach, the headlines, the stories that have been out there. You'd think they just won 20 games rather than just going to the Eastern Conference Finals. But now there's some online conversation about whether or not they should trade Karl-Anthony Towns. You have seen guys like Bill Simmons tweeting screenshots of text messages about how the Knicks should go after Erik Spoelstra. I've heard this on multiple podcasts about, hey, is Erik Spoelstra happy in Miami? Should the Knicks call Miami and offer them like a bunch of money to take Erik Spoelstra? We haven't seen. First of all, I think that's patently ridiculous, number one. But we also haven't really seen a coach get traded in quite a long time.
Doc
And
Rivers, right?
Doc Rivers was the last one, and as far as I know,
Yeah.
because Billy Donovan didn't get traded from Oklahoma City to Chicago, right?
No.
He just got fired and then rehired. But uh, it is interesting, even if I think it's ridiculous. So here's my question to you: not whether or not they should trade Erik Spoelstra for Karl-Anthony Towns, because we remember Jose from Kendall thinks that that's a great idea. But just the general idea: should the Heat trade for Karl-Anthony Towns? We don't know that he's on the block, but it's just an idea.
That Miami could even engage in that kind of conversation, that they have enough. I mean, whether it's Spo or anything else on the roster. I also assuming they could keep Bam Adebayo. I mean, that's a pretty heavy caveat to include in this exercise. But if that's the case, I think that's a phenomenal move. And I've been critical of Karl-Anthony Towns. Just last week, I think, I was texting you that just watching Cat pick and choose when to be a dominant player is just annoying, because he is just so talented and so good offensively. Defensively, I think he regressed. I think he was better even in Minnesota, and I don't know if he forgot what to do, or if just the tenor of the team was just not one that was defensively oriented, and so he just kind of chose to sleep it off a little bit. But that's not going to happen in Miami. We all know that. And if it can get him to play even a modicum of defense, and he can continue to contribute what he does offensively, like we're talking about Kel'el Ware, and whether or not you give him up, that's like combined in terms of having a big out there and a guy who can really space the floor at a historically high level as a center. And he's such a great scorer. And you saw throughout the playoffs, like he would, if Brunson was in foul trouble or hurt, you could go to Towns, and he's the kind of player that could rattle off 15 points really quickly and kind of spearhead a victory and carry you. And that's something that Miami just hasn't had, except for playoff Jimmy Butler. And other than that, they haven't had a 1A like that in a while. And I think he would be a
I'm kind of torn on this, because on one hand, you're right about Karl-Anthony Towns and the scoring and just the sheer volume that he could put up. I mean, 24.5 points per game this past season for the Knicks, 22 the year before that for Minnesota, 21, 24.5, 25, 26.5, 24.5, 21, 25. Those are his scoring averages since he was a rookie. I mean, this guy is a bona fide bucket getter, multi-time All-Star. He's been to the All-Star team 5 times, including 4 times in the Western Conference, multiple All-NBA guy. I think he went, did he make All-NBA this year? He's made it twice before that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, this guy, the credentials are what they are, and they speak for themselves. That said, there's huge concerns about him defensively. There are moments where he just makes the most boneheaded of plays, whether it's just a dumb foul at the wrong time or a turnover at the wrong time or whatever. And those things tend to happen in the worst moments in the playoffs. And that would be a little concerning for me. But that said, I thought he was a hero for the Knicks in these playoffs, right? But defensively, there are real issues. On the other end of that, though, we have seen what Erik Spoelstra can do, probably better than any coach in the league. Hide minus defenders, figure out ways around it. And if he could do it with Tyler Hero, if he could do it with Duncan Robinson, God knows he could do it with Karl-Anthony Towns, who at least has the size there. And we've even seen Karl-Anthony Towns be a plus defensively in Minnesota, playing next to Rudy Gobert. And that would be the vision, is you play Karl-Anthony Towns with Bam Adebayo, right? New York can't really play Towns with Mitchell Robinson for a lot of different reasons. but
Right.
they go to it in certain spots. But Bam and Towns, they could log 20 minutes a game together, no
What a
problem.
great duo that would be.
It would. And so if it were, I don't know what you'd have to give up again, but the idea would be to play Bam with Towns because there is no Towns without Bam because then all those defensive concerns come into play. And
Yeah.
again, and you're probably right. They probably, just because of that, they probably don't have the juice to do it. But I don't know, 3 first-round picks. I don't know if they, I mean, Tyler Hero could make a lot of sense for them. They do kind of need a floor spacer, but maybe if they're not into it, you can reroute him to a third team, then send something that New York wants. Like maybe there could be a way to make it happen, but this to me feels more like a trade that you should have made last summer when you had Jimmy Butler. Because then you're really starting to talk my language. If it would have been Jimmy Bam with Karl-Anthony Towns, now that's really something. That's something that I think can make some real noise in the Eastern Conference where Towns plus Bam plus whatever's left, I just don't know if that's enough.
Today's episode is brought to you by lots of anger, repressed rage, and also FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live with player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. So much to look forward to. Or I know this episode, we're recording this Thursday afternoon. I'm expecting a fantastic series. Who's going to go off for the Pacers? Who's going to go off for the Oklahoma City Thunder? There's a lot to look into there. I've got Jalen Williams with the Thunder. I think he's going to have a big series. And I think Halliburton's going to struggle a little bit against this OKC defense. So my pick is Pascal Siakam to put up some big numbers. But let's see how it plays out. But if you're new to FanDuel, this is the perfect time to sign up. So you can head over to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. That's $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Plus, we know what Jimmy thought of Karl-Anthony Towns, so that probably wouldn't have been a good move.
That's
right?
a great
I
point.
think and I think, though, that kind of speaks to whether or not Miami would even consider a move like this. I mean, Jimmy, despite his exit, I think did seem to represent a lot of the ideals of Heat culture and what they believe in the locker room. And I know that it just seems like Bam has a personal beef with Karl-Anthony Towns. They didn't play together in Kentucky, but just the idea of being compared to one another. And it seems like there's a personal agenda there between them at times, although Karl has gotten he has taken advantage on more than one occasion of Bam Adebayo. So like he is that good. Like he has shown up Bam and made him look like a poor defender out there because he's just that talented. We did it with the Knicks. He's done it with the Wolves. But to my point about Jimmy, if Jimmy thinks he's soft, as you know what, then the Heat probably would think he's too soft and wouldn't be able to embrace some of the tenets of their defensive identity. And because it's not like Duncan doesn't want to do the work. It's not like Tyler doesn't want to do the work. They just can't. They're limited. Right. I think it's the difference between them and Karl-Anthony Towns is that Towns moves gracefully as hell when it comes to his opportunities in the paint to score. Defensively, it's like,
I don't know that I would
really
use graceful. Graceful. Sometimes it's just a whole lot of elbows moving in different directions when he's driving.
But he does have good footwork though. Like we've
in
seen
the post when they
when
they post him up, he's got footwork. Yes.
But defensively, it's like, oh, did you really just drive past me? Oh no, what a shame! Like, I mean, come on, dude, you got to at least try a little bit.
He doesn't seem fluid in the hips at all. Like he has a really hard time turning around and chasing a defender and tracking guys and things like that. And even even in the post, like every once in a while he flashes like, oh my God, this guy could be an awesome post player. But like a lot of times he just doesn't do his homework early and he ends up doing this fake post up 15 feet away from not even in the paint, right? Almost from that Udonis Haslem old school like baseline jumper spot. But instead of facing up, he's got his back to the basket for some reason. And it's so weird with him sometimes. And the soft thing, I think, is a fair concern with him. Yeah. And then you wonder also, well, he played under Tom Thibodeau. And Tibbs loved him. So
Right.
I don't know if that sways Miami one way or the other. I don't know. I have I'm trying to think of a fake trade idea that would get it done. And that to me is the hard part here. But it would involve Tyler Hero would have to be involved. Probably, I kind of like Tyler for the Knicks playing up next to Jalen Brunson. If you still got Mikal Bridges and OJ Anunoby there, and Mitchell Robinson, presumably, that should be enough at least defensively.
Yeah.
To fortify those guys.
Yep.
But what else would it cost? I mean, Karl-Anthony Towns is also making $50+ million a year. He's going to be due for an extension. I think in the next couple of years, I could pay him upwards of $60 million a year. I don't know. It just it feels like that's a lot of money. And if the Knicks are starting to look into trading Karl-Anthony Towns, okay, that's 2 teams in 2 years that have said, nah, we're good.
You're not going to get it from anywhere. So in that sense, you could probably negotiate something a little bit lower than what you might expect the asking price to be. I don't know. Like, it would have to be an almost ideal situation in terms of surrounding him with a high level defensive players. But I mean, the skills are undeniable.
Yeah.
The scoring touch and everything else, and he's going to put up those points. He's just that good.
Would you give up Kel'el Ware? It would be Hero and Ware for Towns.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like
Hero, Ware, and Duncan Robinson. You know,
something like that.
Salary.
Probably be something like that, or Hero, Ware, and Rozier's expiring if you needed to build the money up even more. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'd almost rather take Ware on the rookie contract, knowing that, okay, if you're committing all the money to Bam and Cat as your 4 and your 5,
yeah,
that doesn't leave a whole lot of money to fill out the perimeter in a league that is very perimeter oriented. And that's a little bit like when we get into the Excel spreadsheet part of the roster construction. That's what worries me a little bit. But it's interesting. Let us know in the comments. Is Karl-Anthony Towns somebody that you would target if you were on the trade block? Let us know. For now, thanks for making Locked On Heat your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the Locked On NBA Big Board Show. NBA draft expert Rafael Barlow reacts to every workout, interview, and rumor leading up to the NBA draft. Find Locked On NBA Big Board on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts. Have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday with another episode. Until then.